So just what is the role of the African Union when it comes to business, investment and the stewardship of the African economy? Well, that is a question that has apparently crossed the minds of many captains of industry and business. CCTV's Peter Wakaba discussed the role of the African Union in African business with Ivor Ichikowitz, an industrialist and philanthropist who is an avid Pan-Africanist. He started by asking him to examine the role the African Union has played so far in African business.
You know, there's so much positive sentiment around Africa right now, and everybody talks about the fact that Afro-pessimism is over and we're now into a new phase of Afro-optimism, and I believe that. You know, I've been saying for many, many years that as soon as we as Africans stop being pessimistic about our own situation and start being optimistic, then good luck will follow. And that's what's happened. And we work very hard. I think one of the really key issues of this new wave of positive energy around Africa is that Africans themselves are finally positive about Africa. But you know, with this new wave of positiveness, we need to look at the institutions that drive the African agenda. And obviously the African Union is a very key place to start.
Definitely, yeah.
But we also have to remember that the African Union is 50 years old. Or the concept, that the motivation behind the African Union is 50 years old. So you have an institution that hasn't really invented itself for this new phase of optimism.
A lot of what gets said about Africa today is the phrase Africa rising, that Africa is finally emerging from the economic doldrums and has started to come into its own, and apart from driving its own political agenda, is also driving the economic agenda. Do you think that body has taken that mandate up properly?
No, absolutely not. I think that the African Union has a huge role to play in doing that. But the African Union is a political body.
Yes.
And we must remember that the African Union is only as strong as its member states are.
Yes.
And until we can get to a point where the African Union reinvents itself as a body that promotes inter-African trade, as a body that promotes cross-border investment, as a body that regularizes the balance of investment in Africa, we're always going to land up with the African Union driving a political agenda which really is irrelevant in the current in the current circumstances. And I'm not suggesting that politics is irrelevant; it's very relevant. But the truth is that every African country has their own political agenda.
Yes.
And to try and regularize one common political agenda before there is a common economic agenda isn't going to work. Because at the end of the day, economics is going to drive politics. In the past, I think politics drove economics.
Yes.
In the modern world, economics drives politics.